that's the question. What of Luke Altmaier, who was a highly recruited quarterback out of Starkville, thought a lot of by the recruiting services, 4-star prospect, and played pretty well in the Sugar Bowl given the circumstances. And given the fact that Ole Miss's offensive line wasn't blocking anyone against Baylor, I don't think the book is, regardless of what happens with Jackson Dart or any other transfer quarterback at this point, I think the book is necessarily closed on Luke Altmaier as a quarterback at Ole Miss.
No.
And there are folks that have pointed to Luke Altmaier as being upset, or maybe he should be upset. That's not really how it can work. Now, Luke Altmaier can do what 3,000 other college athletes have done in football alone, and jump in the transfer portal if he's so inclined. The reality is, if you're building a roster, you've got to have depth on your roster. You've got to have what you think is your current quarterback and what you think is your next quarterback, and maybe your quarterback after that. The smart thing is to have at least a quarterback in every single signing class, because you know that you're not going to keep them all. Right? If you bring in multiple really good quarterbacks, it's not like on the offensive line where 5 guys play. It's not on like wide receivers where you have 4 starters and then 4 to 6 others that play. You got one quarterback that plays. And the other one only gets in if it's a blowout one way or the other, or the starter gets hurt. It's just how it works with that position. And everybody wants to play, and so you have guys moving all over the place. But the idea that Luke Altmaier is or should be or could be upset by Ole Miss going after a quarterback in the transfer portal just doesn't really make sense.
If that was the case, then he's not cut out for the SEC anyway. And I promise you, Jackson Dart has not been promised anything. He's going to have to, if he does, if he does sign with Ole Miss, he will have to come in and win that job. It will not be handed to him. Luke Altmaier is going to have every possible opportunity to win the job. I bet this thing drags out if Dart signs with Ole Miss until Monday of game week against Troy, all the way in September. I think that's how long this thing is going to go, unless it's just glaringly obvious or Altmaier decides to leave, if he does. But if the sheer presence of another talented quarterback scares a guy away, he's not cut out for the SEC anyway.
Somebody says if a school recruits a quarterback every year, they got a better shot of getting a good college quarterback, and they won't all stay, but usually the best ones stay.
Yeah, I mean, I've had people ask me, well, what about Altmaier? What does this mean does this mean they don't like him? No, that doesn't mean that, but it means if you want to compete at this level, you have to continue to add talent, specifically at the most important position on the field. Think about Luke Altmaier. He is talented. He showed you that in the Sugar Bowl, but he is wildly unproven. Hasn't proven anything to anybody. You have no idea what he's going to be like as a starter. Not a clue. He's never done it. Jackson Dart has been a starter, but he is still also very much unproven. What is more likely to happen to an SEC team with one quarterback? Do you think that is more likely for him to be successful, or they have 2 quarterbacks? Math just kind of tells you the odds are in your favor when you have more than one talented guy on your roster. And the simple thing is, would Nick Saban not bring in a very talented player because it might possibly upset an unproven talented player on his roster currently? No. Would Kirby Smart do that? No. Would Jimbo Fisher do that? Would Mike Leach do that? Would anybody that coaches
in stack them up?
Yeah. So
all those places are trying to stack up quarterbacks.
And Altmaier's going to get his shot, And he's got a chance to win it. But if just the presence of Jackson Dart, I'm telling you, if just the presence of Jackson Dart scares off Luke Altmaier, he was never cut out for this league anyway. And I don't think it'll scare him off because I think he's cut out to be a quarterback in the SEC.